What's up guys, welcome back to the channel, and thanks for checking out another tips video for Battlefront 2. In this one we have 8 more secrets about the heroes and villains that the game will not tell you, and some of these are actually fairly new after the more recent patches. If you missed the first video on hero secrets in Battlefront, check that out after this one by following the link in the description. If you guys find these tips helpful, be sure to give the video a thumbs up so it can reach more eyes. But with that, we're gonna jump right into it, so let's check out these tips. This first tip is actually one that has been around since the launch of the game, and if you've played Battlefront 2 for a bit, you'll definitely know this one. But some of the newer players might not be aware, so we'll go over it really quickly as the first tip in this video. So everyone knows that when you're playing as a lightsaber hero, you can already jump pretty high. But if you do a basic lightsaber attack right after you jump, you'll go just a little bit higher and a little bit further, and this applies to all the heroes and villains who use lightsabers. There are some platforms on some of the maps in Battlefront 2 that you just can't reach by doing a basic jump, such as this balcony here on the Naboo Palace Hangar map. But by doing this jump attack, you can usually get up there no problem. Just keep in mind that the jump attack will use up stamina, so keep your eye on the bar if you're running low. Most people know this one already though, so let's move on to one that I'm sure most players don't know, and it actually has to do with a certain reinforcement, even though it is a tip for the heroes. It specifically applies to all the villains that are playable on original trilogy maps. The ISB agent is the infiltrator unit for the Empire, and she has an ability called Double Your Efforts, which automatically begins health regeneration when she's near friendly units. What isn't ever explained in the game though is that this ability can fully heal a friendly villain all the way up to max health even if they were just at 1. As you can see in this co-op gameplay here, Maul is really hurting after that attack, so I activate Double Your Efforts and I try to stick next to him, and you'll see that since Maul was in the ability radius, his health gets to go all the way back up to full. Basically what the ability does is it maxes out the recoverable health of the hero, just like Bosk has his, and the regen begins instantly. If you're playing on original trilogy maps as the villains, stick close to and protect your ISB agents. They're good in a gunfight, and the healing ability will make sure that you can survive. Next up, we have a pair of tips for the light side, and the first one is for Leia, who has become a personal favorite hero of mine, even more so after her abilities got that rework that they needed for the longest time. Her shield got a nice healing ability a few updates back, and that gave it a more practical use in all the modes. But a neat trick with her shield is that the healing will still work even if only your feet are inside the shield. You can have your entire top half sticking out, and you can keep shooting at enemies while your health slowly goes back up. If you start taking damage again, you can just dip back inside the shield, and it's a useful trick if you have good positioning. You can safely heal up while getting some shots off, and this works from any side, so you can freely move within the shield and find the best possible angle to shoot from while getting the health buff. Leia is a bit of a hidden gem in Battlefront 2, and some of the newer players haven't caught on to just how good she is yet. This is just another reason to try her out. Chewbacca is another one that I've been having a lot of fun with recently, and I know that he's a very underrated hero, but you're seriously missing out if you're sleeping on Chewie. His bowcaster is, of course, powerful, but Chewie is at his scariest up close. His melee is actually a secret weapon that has a lot of uses in sticky situations. It does a base 90 damage from the front and 135 from the back, which makes it the strongest non-lightsaber melee attack in Battlefront 2. It's an instant 2-shot on most infantry, and it does nice damage to villains, especially enemy lightsabers. When a saber villain is attacking you, you can just start throwing punches, and it will both damage them, and it will also disrupt their combo, which gives you just enough time to roll away and get a shot off. If you can build up his damage reduction, you can almost use him like a lightsaber hero in some cases. The melee is just that good. The dark side gets these next 2 tips, and they both actually involve Darth Vader's choke. The first one is a really fun one that I'm seeing more players catch on to, although it can be pretty annoying if it's done to you. Vader can do a jump while activating his choke, and if he times it just right, he can choke a target and then lift them up with him as he jumps, which is pretty hilarious to watch, but it can also be used strategically if you're in a tough spot. By lifting them that high in the air, it takes them longer to touch the ground again, which gives you more time to make your next move, and either get away if you're in trouble, or set up your next attack for after they land. It's super useful, but again, it can be annoying if a Vader player constantly spams this on you, like I was doing to this poor team here. It's not something you want to do just to annoy someone anyway. If you're not careful, you can be attacked while you're vulnerable in the air. Make sure you plan your next move, and just do your best not to get caught off guard, but you'll definitely have fun with this one. The choke is great on both Vader and Maul, but it can be tricky to pull off sometimes if your targets are constantly blocking or if they're dodging effectively. There is a way to get your targets blocked down though and quickly get the choke off. Throw your lightsaber at them. They'll block the first hit, but the return strike will hit them in the back, which causes them to stagger for a second and gives you just enough time to activate the choke. It's sneaky, but it's useful against the block and parry spammers, and the damage is excellent. This can be done with both Vader and Maul, since they both have a saber throw and a choke, but Vader's obviously is more devastating, since the saber does more damage and the choke sets up a perfect finish. This one does take some practice, but it's well worth it. This next one applies only to the lightsaber heroes and villains, and even more specifically it only applies to console players, but if you're on either PS4 or Xbox, in your gameplay settings you have a tool called Aim Assist, which is really helpful for your blaster gameplay, especially if you're like me and you can't aim without it. But for lightsabers, do yourself a favor and turn it off. Aim Assist will seriously mess up your lightsaber game. When you're attacking and blocking, you want full control over which direction you're facing so that you can make the precise adjustments that you need to. Aim Assist will ruin that by sticking to targets that cross in front of you, which stops you from turning your block in the exact direction you need. If you're getting spammed on and you need to disengage to get stamina back, you'll have a much harder time pulling away from that enemy since they're right in front of you and Aim Assist is assisting you. It's very helpful for blasters, but for lightsabers, it actually ruins the gameplay. Just try turning it off next time you use a saber, and I promise you'll feel a night and day difference. General Grievous gets the final tip in today's video, and for his we're actually revisiting the first one we went over, the jump attack. Grievous has unique jump physics, where he will jump up and come down faster than the other heroes and villains do when they jump. These unique physics also let him do faster short hops, which lets him strangely combo his jump attacks, and the best part is, these jump attack combos actually come faster than his regular lightsaber swings. By default, Grievous swings his lightsabers pretty slow, which makes him an easy target to be countered by faster heroes like Luke or Anakin. The jump attacks come way faster, which makes it harder for the enemy to counter them, plus all of the erratic jumping makes Grievous a harder target to hit back. This is another one of those tricks that will take some practice on the timing so that you can keep repeating it. As I'm sure you can tell from the footage, I'm still getting the hang of it myself, but once you figure it out, you'll start getting faster and faster with it until you can jump combo an enemy hero from basically full health down to nothing. Put the practice in and give it a shot next time in Heroes vs. Villains. And with that, that is today's video. These are just the latest tips for the heroes and villains in Battlefront 2, but there are new tricks being found all the time, and once we have enough for another video, you can expect another round of tips from the Star Bazaar. Thanks for checking this one out, guys. If you liked the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and if you're new around here, consider subscribing for more Battlefront 2 videos like this. I appreciate you all stopping by the Bazaar, and I will see you out on the Battlefront. Peace.